there, my name's Jona and welcome back to One Pip Wonder. It's great to see you, and today we're going to be reviewing a board game called CoraQuest. This is a kids game for 1 to 4 players. It's recommended for ages 6 and up, and it plays in about 45 minutes. Actually, takes us about 2 hours, but I'll explain. CoraQuest was designed by Dan and Cora Hughes, and it was a kickstarted game, but it is currently available at Bright Eyes Games. Before we get into the description of this game, I just want to let you know that I am going to be looking at the environmental impacts of this game. This is nothing new to my channel. It's something I've been doing for about a year, and that's not because games are especially bad for the environment. It's because every aspect of our lives has an impact on the environment, and this does not exclude board games. So I like to look at this aspect just so people who are environmentally conscious can have an idea of what they're getting into when they purchase this game. I'll be sharing the environmental rating later in this video. CoraQuest is a cooperative dungeon crawl game. We have the rules. They're very easy to follow. They're color-coded. This is all about actions here, full actions, continued, the bad guys, the enemy is what they get to do, and then countdown phase, and then the end of the game. It's very easy to read and be able to find what you need while you're playing. This is the backbone of the game, the dungeon cards. And here we have the starting dungeon card, which has a very nice not welcome mat for the heroes. The rest of the deck is made up of numbered dungeon cards, and these are just random scenarios that will come up. Sometimes there'll be a bad guy to fight or a treasure to add to the dungeon. These are the lettered dungeon cards. These are the cards that will continue the quest story. So when the dungeon card A comes up, then you'll know to look in your story and read the section A to see what happens. So on a character's turn, they can explore the dungeon if they are to the edge of the card that they're standing on. They can flip it around this way or this way. It can either be horizontal or vertical to the original card that the character started on. On this card, we have 3 rat folk that we have to add to the dungeon now. So these guys are gonna go here. In addition to the bad guys, there's also a treasure chest. So we're going to mark it with this token. And when the character is able to get to that token and flip it over, they'll get a new item card from this deck. But first, they have to fight some bad guys. These are what the bad guys look like. They have 2 health. They can move 4 squares at a time. They get to roll a red and a white die for combat, and their reach is 1 square away from them. Now this is Catgirl's stats. She has 6 health. She can move 5 spaces, and she gets a red dice plus her weapon. Catgirl's starting weapon is actually a bodyguard cat, which provides her 1 additional white dice and 2 reach. So that's her weapon. And this is her health counter. So each character has one of these, and the boss bad guys, the big bad guys, also have counters like this. So she's gonna be at 6 starting. So Cat Lady gets a red dice and a white dice because of her bodyguard. So she is going to try and hit this rat folk. All right, so she got 1 hit on him. So that's 1. All right, and she killed him and knocked him out of there. All characters get 2 full actions and as many free actions as they want. Free actions include revealing a dungeon card, which she did at the beginning of the game, and using an item card, which would be one of the cards either provided by the story, the quest, or by something that she finds in the dungeon, maybe something that would be in that chest. For full actions, she gets 2, and they can be to move, to search, to swap items with another character, to reveal, and to attack. She revealed 1 dungeon card and attacked twice, so her turn is over and she's exhausted. Although the cat healers actions are over, this player still has 3 characters that they can use to fight these rat people if they want to. In the event that a character is unable to get a hit, that character will become determined. So their next turn, they will get an extra die. So the next time I use Crossbow Boy, I get 3 dice. Woohoo! And I finally got a hit. Yay! Now he will be flipped over to his normal state. We're gonna fast forward and say that this player took all of their character's actions. They're all exhausted at this point, and there's still 1 rat folk left. That means there will be an enemy phase. The enemies are very similar to what the characters can do. They have a limited amount of movement, and they will move towards the closest character, and as soon as they're within range, they will attack. Just like our normal characters, they get 2 actions. So all of the character cards will be reset for the next person to take their turn, and they have fresh characters now. And we do something called the countdown phase. These tokens that have each character's face on is for their special ability. So if we say that the crossbow dude used his special ability, which is if you don't move on your turn, you can take a 3rd full action instead of 2, which is an awesome ability. We're gonna pretend that on this turn, he did that action. This token will go down to here. This character cannot use this action again until the token has moved completely off of this track. Then it will start over here, and it's available for any player to use for that character again. And each character has their own unique special ability. Another thing that happens on the countdown phase is the threat token. If a player does not explore a new dungeon card during their turn, that means that this threat will be put onto the countdown phase. And every time that a dungeon card cannot be flipped over because they're all gone, or we choose not to, this will go down. Once it goes to the end, that will trigger the spiders to be put onto every cobweb that is in your dungeon so far. And during the enemies phase, these will also be attacking all of the characters. After a while, your dungeon will look something like this. The game will end if the party is triumphant and they're able to accomplish their quest. Or they will be defeated if a single character drops to 0 health. The book of quests includes 10 quests. So far we played 3, we were successful in 2, and we were defeated in 1, so we kind of want to go back and redo that one. Cora and Dan are currently working on new quests. As far as replayability, I feel like this game has a lot of potential because there's new content being put out and we haven't even gotten through half of the content that came with the game. There's also a book giving instructions on how you can customize the game. You can make your own quests, your own items, and make your own heroes. We haven't gotten into this aspect of the game yet, but I love this for replayability. All right, so that's the basic idea behind CoraQuest. Now I'm going to send you over to my kids to see what they think about it.
I like it because this is the only game you can really fight. Well, I have a lot of different games like Memory 44 you can fight, but this one is one of the kid fighting games I like the most.
Okay, Lawrence, how would you describe this game?
Well, I like the features of the cards, and I like how you can shoot and roll the dice. Like this.
Yeah.
And also I like it because I like the name of it.
Theodore, is there anything about this game that you didn't care for?
I didn't like, I don't...
If you can't think of anything, that's a fair answer.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. My favorite part is when you open another dungeon, it's always a new crew. I like getting the new crews and move on. Especially I like the shooting. Hold up with your hands.
Do you think this game is a difficult game or an easy game?
Easy! Easy, but you difficult.
Yeah, it wasn't so easy for us last time, right?
Yeah, we died right away, but he got the gems from us.
Thank you guys for sharing your thoughts on CoraQuest.
Bye.
In regards to how long it takes us to play this game, it does actually take us about 2 hours to go through an entire scenario. This is not entirely the game's fault, and I don't think this will be the case for every group that plays it. I'm sure for most people it could be less, especially playing with independent readers and children who are a little bit older. For us, I'm playing with a 5-year-old who is a child a little bit younger for the recommended age, and then a 7-year-old. And during their turns, there's a lot of reminding which actions each character can take, and there's a lot of prompting that is needed to be done by myself. So it just takes a long time for everyone to get through their turns. That is the one negative, that it takes us so long. There's a lot of games that we play more frequently because of that, so that is the one drawback that I find. I really appreciate how kid-oriented this game is. It was designed in part by a child. All the artwork was submitted by children all over the world. It's so special in that way, that it is by kids, for kids, and it's very successful for that reason.
But people made it, asked other kids to make it with them. Yeah.
They had kids submit artwork. And did you submit some artwork?
Yeah, I did the poison, if you know what I mean. I did the poison.
My children love the stories and the crazy things that happens and the surprises that unfold. The mechanics in this game also are very kid-oriented. The mechanic of having determination. Each character can flip over their card, get extra dice when they miss a hit. And that is so important for kids to not get discouraged in a dice rolling game. For environmental friendliness, this game gets 3 stars, and the first one is because they used FFC for all the chipboard. So FFC stands for Forest Stewardship Council, and it's the group that helps make sure that forests aren't deforested or other harmful logging practices are not used in gleaning the resources for the wood products. So that's really great to see. It is not an FFC certified game at this point, but I do like knowing that they used FFC chipboard in this game. The second star is because there's no plastic box insert. Plastic box inserts tend to bloat up the size of the game, and they are not a recyclable plastic unless they have the Chasing Arrows logo right on that plastic. And none of the box inserts in my games have that. So always check before you recycle. Partly due to the fact that they didn't have a box insert, this game is overall smaller. It's very compact. We can fit everything in this game, and the box closes and lays flat, but it is packed full. And the reason they designed it to be smaller was on purpose, for environmental reasons. And that is one of the best things that you can do as a board game designer. Design your game to be as small as possible. Reducing the game's size will reduce the overall carbon footprint of the game. CoraQuest has a little bit of plastic in it, but it's very minimal. And I could see how tempting it would have been to put miniatures in this game, but they didn't go that direction. They reduced the plastic, and it was a conscious decision. So I also want to applaud them for that effort as well. Finally, I'd like to rate CoraQuest, giving it 4 pips out of 6. This is a favorite in my family. On my top 10 kid games, it got the 3rd spot as our favorite game. It is so much fun. We're always looking forward to seeing what story is going to unfold. It's a lot of fun memories. We're always really excited and on the edge of our seats to see what's gonna happen. So I highly recommend this as a family game. Thank you so much for watching this review of CoraQuest. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Called CoraQuest. Here, do you want to show the camera?
It is a adventure game. Bye-bye. It's a challenging game. I want to kiss for done.
So on a player's turn, for a player's on a player's turn, but she can go.
Okay, now I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
So what did we talk about again? Oh yeah, CoraQuest. So, but yeah.
In CoraQuest, you have a lot of choices to make because each character has 2 full actions, and then free actions.
Free.
And depending what you do with that character, it's gonna really change how combat could turn out or what you end up finding, right?
Yeah, or
So
fighting.
if you lose a scenario, you very much could play it again and it turn out very differently from the first time, right?
Yep.
And even if you win a scenario and want to do it again, you could, and something new could happen. Would you agree?
I'm a soldier.